Good morning, everyone. This is Andrew from Link Testing. I'm very glad to do this presentation for you. To be honest, this is very simple presentation. I will introduce our instruments and what's the function of them, what's the performance of them, and what properties the customers use them can get, and uh, who who are our end users and customers, and let you know our instruments more um, clearly. Okay, let's begin. Uh, Most of our test instruments you always be used in the flexible packaging factories and labs and some related companies just like the food, medicine, and daily chemicals. Uh, all these test instruments according to the relative standards and main detections as follows. Mechanical properties, steering resistance properties, impact properties, slave compression thickness, and tongue tester, and tongue force, and the densities, and so on many. We have more than 12 series products and more than 30 models. About the mechanical properties, the main mechanical properties as following is the tensile strength, elongation, peel strength, hissile strength, puncture force or puncture strength, opening force, impact tearing, flexibility, compression properties, and so on. This is the main properties we can get. In fact, not only we have more than that, but this is the main production lines of ours. Okay, this is the first one is the tensile strength and elongation. Uh, we always use the tensile tester to get this properties. Uh, we call this machine is the tensile tester, but it can test more than 6 different testings to get 60 different properties, just like the tensile strength, elongation, tearing, uh, puncture, or many. We use the tensile machine to test the tensile strength and elongation of the soft packaging materials. Tensile strength is the biggest force uh, the material can bear before it breaks into pieces. The elongation is the material shape change value and the tensile force before break. That means when the sample break, we will use 2 clamps adhere to carry the sample, and then we will push them, and the shape of this material of the specimen will be changed, and then they will break. At the break part, you will get the force. How much force is the break force? This is the tensile force. And another property is elongation. Elongation is at the break part, at the specimen at the break part, how much percentage this shape changed. We usually get maybe 60, 70, 80% of uh, data. We call it the elongation. Uh, in fact, this machine is very popular in the packaging factories and some food and medicine packaging QA and QC labs. If the tensile force is very small, the packaging is very easy to leak, and it's every food or medicines after the production they must to stock it, to transport it, and then to sell to the customers. And in this period, in this process, it's very easy to push it or throw about it. So the tensile force is very important to keep it elegant, so it can avoid the leakage issues of these packagings. Okay. Okay. This is the second machine. We call it second property. We call it the Hsiao strings. What's that mean? The the strings the strings Hsiao strings means for the testing the cell strings and the certain temperature, pressure, and the time. We use the Hsiao machine. Let two pieces specimens sit together, then use the tensile tester to test the strength of the hissile part. This is a valuable data for the food and medicine factory to use the packaging to carry the goods. In the food and medicine factories, they always use the packaging, the pouch to carry the food or the medicines. How to let them seal them? Usually use the heat seal. Heat seal always influenced by the temperature, pressure, and time. At this at this step, we must to confirm how much pressure at the heat seal part it can bear. So, so we use this machine, the heat seal machine, at the confirm the temperature, pressure, and the time to heat seal the pouch, and then use the tensile tester. Use the tensile tester to push them and break them, and to get how much force, how much newtons at the hissile part can bear. So if the food or packaging factories want to get the hissile strength, they must use the hissile tester and the tensile tester together to get this data. Okay, this is the peel strength. Usually for the food factories, sorry, usually for the food or medicine daily chemicals, it's carried by the packaging. This packaging made by the uh, films, but this is not one live films. It's usually is the lamination. It's 3 or 5 different layers laminated together, and so by the layer with another layer, there's some by glue, some by a lot of different materials, let them attach very tightly. So we need to test the peel strength between the different layers. In our lives, most time we use the lamination composited films. It usually uses the glue to attach many films together. If the peel strength is too small, that will influence the packaging quality, lead to leak, even break. Uh, you know, at the transportation, the temperature always change. If um the the peel strength is very small, or the temperature change too much, it will influence the glue's performance, and then you will see small bubbles on the packaging surface, and then it's at the bubbles part. It's very easy to be uh, punch, punctured, puncture, and then you will see a lot of leak of the packaging. So before that, as the packaging or as the food packaging, medicine packaging, or the chemical packaging QE and QC departments, they must to do the testing of the peel strengths of the packagings, peel of the packaging materials. Yeah. Okay, this is the third one. The next one is the puncture force. You can say this picture. What's the puncture force? This one needle. We use this needle to puncture the bottle. Usually it's a rubber bottle, a rubber cup of the bottle to puncture it, and then you will get the puncture force, how much newtons this needle can put into the cup and let something inside of the put something inside of the bottle. We call it the puncture force. Uh, if the usually for this properties usually is needed by the medicine factories just like some liquid medicine or liquid pharmaceutical material, they must use the glass or the plastic bottles with the rubber cup, and then you use the metal to puncture it and to get the liquid go outside. Okay, we can customize for the medicine factories of this kind of testing. So if there's any requirements from your medicine factory customers, you can ask them what you need, what's the force range of your curves of the puncture force, and what's the material of your packaging cup, and then you feedback to us. We will customize the clamps for the puncture force testings. Okay, this is the fourth one. Let's begin the fifth one. Okay, this is the tearing resistance. Tearing resistance, it includes the right angle trousers and element of tearing. They use different specimens. The right angle and the trousers tearing usually use the tensile strength instrument. The test the tearing strength data is to improve the safety of the carrying and storing the packaging, and confirming it is easy to open the packaging. Sometimes for the plastic sometimes for the potato chips, for the Frenchies, it's carried in the packaging. But when when the people feel hungry, they want to eat something, they must open the packaging. How to open it? You will see just like the tools on the packagings. You must to tear them and tear the packaging, and then you will eat the potato chips. So the tearing force means is it easy to open the packaging, the flexible packaging, to open the pouch. Sometimes if the tearing force is too small, it's very easy to leak at the transportation store or at the process before the customer eat it. But if the tearing force is too big, it's very difficult to open it. It will influence the customer's feeling. So usually in the packaging factories, they must do this testing. And sometimes we use the tensile tester to do the testing, and sometimes we use the tearing testers. It's follow the different standards. I must mention again, all of our testers follow different standards to produce. So based on the different standards, we have different proposal for our customers. If you get any requirements from your customers, you must to confirm what's the standards they follow, and then we will give you the solution how to have them to survive, to solve the problems. Okay, next one. Tearing resistance. Yeah, you can say it's the same, right? It's same. This tearing tester is follow the ISO standards. They must to cut the specimen just like the rectangle or this kind of shape, and then to do the tearing. This machine, we call it element of tearing tester. Usually use the element of tearing tester to do this testing. There are two different kinds of specimen, radius and a rectangle. Use changing between the kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay, next one. Density. It's very easy to understand. For some customers, they want to test the density of the material, of the density of the the plastic or the density of the maybe the cookies or some food, and then we can provide to them. I think this is very easy to understand, so I don't want to introduce very detailed. If you have any customers want to test the solid subject density, you can ask me. I will give you the suggestion which one is it's better for to meet their requirements. Okay, next one. Impact. Impact. This property is very easy to understand. We use the dot head to impact the film and the clamps to test the biggest impact strength of the film. There are two different test machines, pendulum impact and vertical impact for different standards requirements. This is the vertical one. Here's one, we will put one dot here and use the dot to impact the film. We will clamp the film here. Use the dot to impact the film, impact the packaging, and to get how much force this packaging or this film can bear. Okay, next one. This is the pendulum impact tester. It's this one and this one to follow different standards. And this one, the vertical impact tester, you will get the Newton, how much force it can bear. This one, you can, the pendulum one, you will get the energy, how much joule, how much joule this material can bear. It's follow different standards. You can get different data by the different unit. Anyway, you must to ask your customers what standards they follow, and then we will give you the suggestion. Okay, next one. This is the thickness tester. We use the test height to touch the film by the physical touch to measure the thickness. Of a thickness tester usually tests the soft plastic material just like the plastic film. And by the way, this machine, LTCHY-HS can test the thickness of the paper, not only films, but also the papers. But we must to change the head of the thickness tester. Yeah. Until now, all around the world, follow ASTM standards, ISO standards, or any one standards. If the customer want to get the thickness, they must use this kind of machine. We call it a physical touch machine to get the thickness. If you use other machines, just like the gauge to get the data, maybe yeah, you can use it, but you can't show it on any test reports or any scientific papers because it's not it's not very high accuracy results. For some universities or research organizations, they don't accept your results. Okay, next one. Coefficient of friction. It's a friction. It usually be used friction between two films or between films and a desk. We use the sled to press on the film and then pull the sled to test the coefficient of friction. This property data usually is used in the packaging production film factories. If the friction isn't suitable, the pen logo and label will not correct. This is if even the films on the production lines will be break. So the production must be stopped and they put the films again into the production lines. It will let a lot of cost waste. Many customers of the packaging factories, especially the packaging producing factories and film and lamination producers must need this machine to confirm the friction film by film or film by the desk. But maybe for the food factories, it's not very useful. Okay. next one. This is a leak tester. In fact, we have a lot of food factories customers. The leak tester is most popular for them. It's the most popular for them. It's very easy. We call it a negative pressure method. It includes two. First, we inject the pot with water and put the specimen into the water and vacuumize the pot to watch and judge uh, if it is leakage. The positive method is a way that's to inject the gas inside the packaging to judge how much pressure it can bear. This is very popular. It not only can be used in the labs, sometimes it can be used in the production lines as an on-site machine. It's very easy, but there's one disadvantage is you only can use your eyes to confirm it's leak or not. You can't get any data, and and uh, if you want to get some data, you must use the positive pressure method machine. We have the positive pressure machine, but I'm sorry, I don't put it on this page. If you have any if you get any requirements from your customers about the positive method leak tester, you can ask me. I will send you our detailed catalog and to do the detailed introduction to your customers. Okay, this is the aluminum foil pen hole tester. It's usually be used for the lamination factories and some aluminum foil factories. The master to come the master to confirm is there the pinhole on the packaging on the aluminum foils. But for the food factories, it's very few. It's very few. This is the open force tongue tester. It's very easy. Sometimes it's usually be used in the beverage factories, just like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, or some juice, orange juice, or banana juice factories. Um, and sometimes it's be used in some alcohol beverage factories to test how much force, how much newtons you need to open the cup of the bottle and to drink it. This is compression property testers. It's usually be used for the carton and box properties. You can say always on the transportation and the stock, the cartons will put into the warehouse many layers, maybe five layers or 6 layers, but it's very easy to compression. So we need to test your carton or your packaging, how much force, how much strength it can bear. So we use the machine to get maybe 1,000, maybe 1,000 newtons, 2,000 newtons, 5,000 newtons this carton can bear, and they will give you the suggestion how much, how many lies this carton can put into your warehouse. Okay. Okay. That's all. This is a very simple introduction. If you have any question on them, you can ask me. Uh, Maybe in the future, in the near future, I will send you some standards of the instruments. You can read the standards. You will know how to test it and why you test it more clearly. Uh, by the way, if you get any question from your end user or customers, you can contact me anytime. I will give you the answers and the resolutions as the first time. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Bye.